Very basic room, kind of feels like a bit of a prison cell. But that's all I need, $50 a night to stay in this 100-year-old pub. And look at that, the lock on the door's like a gate lock.
What a great old pub, the Norseman pub, the Norsey pub. When I checked in last night, the bloke behind the bar said, just remember it's a 100-year-old pub, it's nothing flash. Mate, it was fantastic. Cheap accommodation, good food, and heaps of charm. You can just imagine the stories this place can tell. I mean, the paint was peeling from the ceiling, the carpet was worn out in spots, the locks on the doors were from an old gate. Just fantastic. You know, there's a time and a place for nice accommodation with the wife and kids, and then this perfectly fits the bill for what I'm doing now. It's just awesome. So last night at the pub, I caught up with the guy that I've been crossing over with across the Nullarbor, Alex, on his Suzuki Boulevard. He's from Sydney too. He's doing a mammoth trip. He's going to Perth like me, and then up to Darwin, and potentially across to Queensland, depending on how he's feeling. So he's on a 3-month trip, and he's camping. But I bumped into him into the pub last night because with all the rain, he just didn't want to set up his tent and all the rest of it. And for $50 a night, you can't go wrong in a charming old pub like that. And it's funny because we've already crisscrossed over a few times, and every time we see each other, we give each other a big wave. Good to see other bikers out here, that's for sure. Oh yes, have a look at this bloke. Rock on, man! He's probably got better fitness than me.
Okay, here we are at the first point of interest for the day, Red Hill Lookout, with its expansive views over the Salt Lake, that is Lake Lefroy. Not only do we have great views of the lake, but also great views of the monstrous trains that service the mines out here.
Man, that's got to be like 1 kilometre long, maybe longer. It's even got engines in the middle to help push it along. Wow, look at the size of it. Right, the question is, how do I get down onto that road and then onto the lake for a fang? Ah, there you go. No unauthorised access beyond this point. Oh, well, that's a bummer. It's only an access road for the mine.
Speaking of mines, it brings me to the next point of interest for the day, the Super Pit. What is the Super Pit? The biggest hole in the ground I have ever seen. Now, to show you the size of the Super Pit, check this out. In the upper middle of the screen is a teeny tiny four-wheel drive that is dwarfed by the mining truck on the left. Google says these trucks burn $8 million in fuel and $3 million in tyres a year. The wheels alone are twice the size of a human and weigh 5 tonnes each. Right, now have a look at this excavator. The bucket doesn't look that big in the video, but it's the same bucket that's on display at the lookout. Huge! I'm guessing this is a D12 bulldozer, which is the size of a small truck. Zooming out, it's literally a drop in the ocean. Like I said, the biggest hole in the ground I have ever seen. Okay, this is an incredible fun fact. The Super Pit has an impressive 3,500 kilometres of tunnels, the exact same distance from the Super Pit here all the way back home to Sydney. Absolutely amazing. Moving along to the next point of interest, the classic Aussie game of 2-up. 2-up dates back to the 1800s, and as it was illegal, players resorted to secret locations hidden in the bush, just like this one. Today, 2-up is legal only once a year on Anzac Day. However, this very bush ring is one of only 2 that are legal all year round.
Before the trip started, I went over to Mum's place, and I knew she had a stash of old pennies, and I said, can I borrow 2 pennies? So she's given me a 1956 penny with a kangaroo on it, and she's also given me a 1 penny coin from 1911. It doesn't even have Queen Elizabeth on the back, it's got King George on the back there. Apparently you got to throw the coins higher than the top of the roof of the shed there. So.
Now, I'm not going to lie, it was rather boring playing 2-up with me, myself and I. Fortunately, a local named Billy and his 2 girls arrived. G'day Kalgoorlie, Cal Vegas, or simply Cal. Fun fact, in 1893, Paddy Hannon, an Irishman, obviously with a name like that, was riding his horse in the area when it threw a shoe. He found gold in that exact same spot, which started the gold rush, which gave birth to Kalgoorlie, then the discovery of the Golden Mile, the richest gold deposit in the world, and the rest, as they say, is history.